We have some major updates on the Juan Soto situation and how the Boston Red Sox might be feared by the New York Yankees this offseason. I'm here to break down all the moving parts on this episode of Red Sox Digest, but first remember, if you're a part of the 83% currently watching this video not currently subscribed to the channel, please scroll down, click the subscribe button, stay up to date on everything Boston Red Sox with Red Sox Digest. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys so very much for everything. But now let's get to it and break down how and why this New York Yankees organization is really fearful of this Boston Red Sox organization, specifically this offseason. And again, this is much bigger than just acquiring Juan Soto, but it's really the things in the parts behind closed doors that go along with getting someone like Juan Soto involved with your organization. So we're going to cite this article written by Max Dibble titled Yankees quote fear arch rival poised to steal Juan Soto for $600 million. And again, we'll get to it and break down where he goes on to say in this article. Randy Miller of NJ.com made an appearance on WFAN on Friday, November 30th, during which he said that he has heard the Yankees won't be able to go higher than $550 million for Soto. Miller added that he, quote, believes, though is not outright reporting, that Soto may already have multiple offers of $600 million plus from competitors like the Boston Red Sox and the New York Mets. He goes on to say, and I quote, I'm hearing the Yankees fear the Red Sox more than anyone, end of quote, Miller said, per Danny Abrino of SYN TV. Going on again to quote him, saying, and I quote, I think the Mets are definitely in play and the Red Sox are in play. And I don't think he's going to the Yankees. And again, that is the end of the quote. Again, this is a massive piece of information from someone who is a New York Yankees beat writer. He lives in, again, reports in the New York area. This is massive, not only specifically for the Red Sox, but again, for the entirety of the Soto saga, if you will, and the chaos involving Juan Soto, because there is a lot of it. And again, granted, there should be. He's 26 years old as of a month ago. He is a generational talent up to this point. Again, up to this point, he has already hit 200-plus home runs. He's won, one World Series, been in a running for another. He's this guy is going to be a generational talent, if not already considered a generational talent. He is a freak. And again, going back to Randy Miller, the guy we were citing in that article, he retweeted this tweet from John Morsey, who again was citing Randy Miller again, who brought up how there were 5 teams who have actually submitted offers to Juan Soto. Again, sources confirmed by the reports of Randy Miller: the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays. So again, this is pretty big if the Yankees are not really considered a favorite to land him anymore. Obviously, he played in New York last season alongside, obviously, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, the list goes on and on. They made it to the World Series and fell short to those Los Angeles Dodgers. And again, the Dodgers just went out and got Snell. They extended Tommy Edman. It's a team that is already absolutely ridiculous. It is a fantasy team to begin with, but now it seems like, obviously, or not just as of now, it seems like they've been involved in this Juan Soto conversation. So again, it seems like the Sox, the Mets, the Jays, and the Dodgers are going to be the front runners for Soto, in the sense of they're the ones who actually have a chance to go out and acquire him in the soon-to-be future. It seems like it could happen at any moment for any of these teams. Now, the reason I brought up that this is bigger than just acquiring Juan Soto is for multiple reasons. Last year, obviously, we just mentioned it, the New York Yankees made it to the World Series, and they were star-studded. There's no way around it. In New York, they had players like Garrett Cole, who did come back from injury and looked pretty damn good, especially in the playoffs. I know the blunder in the World Series, that was defensive errors. Obviously, Cole didn't cover the bag. Rizzo didn't get to the bag. He kind of expected Cole to be there. Again, those weren't even go down. They didn't go down as earned runs to Garrett Cole. It was overall a good performance from him in the playoffs. But the point is, they had a lot of talent. Soto in that lineup, batting just before Aaron Judge, and then Giancarlo Stanton. Jazz Chisholm was acquired by the Yankees from the Marlins earlier in that season. Again, they had the pieces. They just ran up against the juggernaut in LA, who again looks like they're going to be a juggernaut next season. And now that Juan Soto seems like there's a chance that Soto doesn't end up back in New York. It means a lot more for Boston if he can land really anywhere but New York. Just because if you look back at the history, The New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox have one of the most iconic rivalries in all of sports. This is bigger than just baseball. It really is. The first time they met was back in 1903. That is a real thing. That was the first time these two teams met. Now, that is a long, long time ago. And since that point in time, we have seen key players from the Red Sox go to the Yankees, vice versa. We've seen mayhem between the teams. We've seen chaos in the standings amongst these teams. And again, it's been a joy to watch. But again, if you are a Red Sox fan and you've seen Babe Ruth go from a Red Sox player to a Yankee player, Wade Boggs from a Red Sox to a Yankee, Johnny Damon, Jacoby Ellsbury, seeing these guys go from the Red Sox and coming so close to winning, if not winning in Boston, then landing in New York to where they would then beat up on these Red Sox, that is not what we want to see. And again, if we could repay the medicine to New York just one time, go out and acquire. And again, I'm having a bit of recency bias, obviously, because obviously Ellsbury, Damon, Roger Clemens, David Cohn, these guys as of late in the last 20 years or so have left Boston and went to New York. And again, I would love to see Boston finally get a little bit of revenge and pull out the rabbit out of the hat, if you will, because again, this is a long shot. I see you guys ripping me apart in the comments. I know that Juan Soto landing in Boston is definitely a long shot, but again, don't sit here and act like there's not a chance. There is a legitimate chance that Soto could end up in Boston. It seems like there might be a better chance of him landing in Boston than there is him landing in New York with the Yankees. And again, if you think that's far-fetched, based off this idea from a New York Yankee beat writer, I'm just going to throw it out there. It seems like a very, very good possibility that Juan Soto ends up really anywhere, whether it be the Mets, whether it be Boston, whether it be with the Dodgers. Again, I don't think that can happen. I don't know if the MLB would even allow it at that point. Behind closed doors, they would have to pull some strings. But again, the point of the matter is, this would be bigger than just acquiring Juan Soto. You take a star out of New York and you put him on the Boston Red Sox. Obviously, the Red Sox get better. Yes, they have so much talent. If we do acquire Soto, we could trade Yoshida. There's been conversations about it. I wouldn't be surprised. He can't play any of the outfield due to the injuries he suffers to his labrum and in his shoulder. Again, if he can't throw, he has to play DH. If he has to play DH, then we lose a little bit of lineup flexibility and really just roster flexibility in general. So again, Soto, we wouldn't have much of that problem. Not the greatest fielder in the world, but again, he would be considered better than Yoshida based off of last season's stats. Again, Yoshida didn't play a lot of possessions or even reps in the outfield during last season due to the injuries. But again, the idea is we would get better with Soto, not only on the lineup, not only on the roster, but then you would be taking talent away from the New York Yankees. You would be making them significantly worse, obviously. You would be then shifting the momentum overall. Obviously, if we came out and we didn't win the first 15 games in a row, we'd be considered a flop and a fail of a season. But you would then let things work out, and you'd let things really develop and get going for this Red Sox team, and we could see a run where we are competing with these New York Yankees. Last season, we obviously ended 81-81. The Yankees were 94-68. If we could acquire Juan Soto, yes, we would still have some problems, but then we would be, like I mentioned in the last Red Sox Digest video, that we would become a favorable market to land in for these other free agents, whether it be a big-name closer in Tanner Scott, Corbin Burns, and a big-name starter, Max Fried, another great arm we could add to this rotation, the starting rotation. Again, it could go on and on and on, again, for this Boston Red Sox team if acquiring Juan Soto is something that actually happens. I think it's a big possibility for these Red Sox. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Again, you guys think that every time I come on here and talk about Juan Soto that I'm announcing that it's officially happened. That is not the case. I understand that, and it could happen in a month. It could happen in 2 months. It could happen in 15 minutes, and that's the beauty of the MLB offseason when everyone is trying to acquire in such a talent of Juan Soto. But again, that'll be it for this episode of Red Sox Digest. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about really the severity of the Juan Soto landing if he did land in Boston. And again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one.